Welcome to So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. Are you evaluating your career in real estate? Feel like you're ready for a fresh start? Or ready to take your career to the next level? This is your podcast. Welcome back to So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. I am your host, Meredith Fogle, and we are starting a brand new season today, season 8 of this podcast, which I am calling Lessons in Success. And I cannot think of a better first guest to have in this season than my friend, Jay D'Alessandro. Jay, I'm going to let you introduce yourself a little bit, but I'm going to give you a little bit of an intro. Jay is a very experienced real estate agent. He leads a large team and he does it with grace, generosity, excellent leadership, is a fabulous role model for all of the things I think we should all aspire to be in business. And he is also a very generous sharer of information to in the Tom Ferry ecosystem. And I think to pretty much anybody who taps you for, hey Jay, do you know how to do this? You have developed these wonderful strategies. For anybody who has seen me do a seller seminar, that was from you, Jay. That was the blueprint that you gave us. And I'm just really delighted to have you on the show. So he's not only generous with what he shares, but he's a humanitarian, a philanthropist, and just a really wonderful human being. So anyway, Jay, thank
Yeah.
you for being here. He's in an adjoining kind of a market area, Northern Virginia. I'm very grateful to get to trade referrals back and forth with him. And I know when I place a referral with your team, it's going to be handled beautifully. So we'll talk a little bit about that at the end as well, how you can refer to him if you're listening and have a referral for the area in which Jay works. So Jay, what would you like to tell our audience that'll give them a sense of who you are, your business model, and anything else you want them to know?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the generous introduction. I
Yes.
know we've gotten to know each other for the last few years in the coaching world and being on some masterminds together. And, I think from the origin, I've always thought of real estate both for the clients that I serve, but also the agents that I serve. The agents end up also being my clients as well, that we are very much a teaching team, and I was taught by the previous owner of the team that I took over and learned a lot from her experience starting in 1998, and then growth and, maturing into being a team owner 8 years ago. And so I've been able to, even before becoming a team owner, been able to get energy from helping other agents grow and realize all the benefits of this career, how it impacts their wealth, but also their connection with people, not only on the team, but the clients that they work with. And then watching some of the leaders on the team find their place in leadership roles on the team itself, which is one of the things that I've really enjoyed watching the growth of some of these agents who've come from different careers, because we're generally a team that has up until more recently had newer agents joining us or brand new agents in the business coming onto our team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you do that so beautifully, helping people develop their leadership skills, pouring into them. And you have a teaching background. So I think that's sort of like just part of who you are, right, as a person as well.
Yeah, I mean, the teaching background definitely helps. Sometimes we joke that sometimes running a team is like running a bunch of middle schoolers. And we say that in an endearing way,
Hmm.
because salespeople are just fun people and they like to interact with people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, though, sometimes that comes with it the not the consistency. So it's balancing, hey, how do you create consistency and help agents not only just be out there and socializing and connecting with people who will do business with them, but also to create the discipline and system so that they can repeat it every
Mm.
season, every year, no matter what the market is doing, and then do it together where they are supporting each other and growing a business together that is successful.
Yeah, yeah. And that kind of cohesiveness that, the word culture that we hear so much in real estate teams that sometimes is kind of amorphous. People don't know how to define it. I think what you just talked about, you've got such a strong culture. And I think you demonstrate the culture in the way that you've built the team and the way that you work collaboratively and develop people kind of, from the moment they come on through the ranks in whatever direction, their natural skill set and their desires lead them. You give them the ability to really have the sky as the limit in terms of where their career can go because of how you've structured your team. And you do so much to build that cohesive culture, including traveling to Honduras to help, build houses for people. So like really exceptional things that you do for your team. Talk a little bit about what you feel, well, yeah, of what you feel attracts people to your team and what you feel helps to create that cohesive culture that is so obvious when you're around the group of people that you work with.
Yeah, so I go back to our mission statement, and the simple version of it really is impacting lives through real estate. Real estate gives us a really good avenue to be connected with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
So, locally in the area, and starting with the team is just the impact with the team where we have a grant program for employees and agents on the team. If they're not a homeowner, we have a grant program. If they've been with us for 3 years, I will help them with a home purchase. We've had 7 different people on our team take advantage of that. One most recently, young man in his mid 20s buying his first home.
It's awesome.
And that's been really neat. And then our humanitarian projects, both locally in the area with several different organizations that we work with,
Yeah.
that agents love, get, I think, joy and being fed from helping others. And then that translates into what you alluded to with building homes in Honduras, which was introduced to us by one of our clients who we work with. He's been going there for 17 years and said, "Hey, you should come. It's going to be life changing." And we're like, yeah, sure. Then we decided to do it, and it really has been. And, we think about impacting the lives there because it is so cost efficient to build a 4-bedroom home there, $3,500 per home for a family. But then we're also teaching the life skills to the people in the village of how to build a home, how to make the concrete blocks, because we leave a concrete block maker there. We get the municipality involved in supporting us, bringing the sand up to the mountain. And
Mhm.
then people that are there and the young men who learn the skills so that they go from making $5 or $6 a day picking coffee beans to learning the skills of building where they're now making $17 a day, which
Mhm.
$17 a day. Some people in our area making $17 an hour, sometimes as teenagers, there per day, that's life changing in terms of income for them. And we get to come alongside those people. And I think we think about how much impact it's making over there, but it impacts the people on our team, their spouses, and some of my real estate friends who've gone on these trips and just come back different, having a different perspective and appreciating the life and the family that they have there and how close they are, and then coming back here and bringing a piece of that with them. So you never really leave. We just
Mhm.
keep going back every year as some are going. We in fact have a spouse of one of our agents who's going on a trip in February without us. He's going with a different group to the same location because he's
Cool.
been so impacted going the last few years.
Amazing. And
Yeah.
so I'm thinking about the person listening to this and hearing what you do and feeling like it is light years away from anything that they could possibly conceptualize bringing into their world. Like they're a new agent starting out and they're like, wow, he's built this company and culture that allows something life-changing and so meaningful, both for the people that you're serving and for the agents who are part of that. So I want to take you back to kind of like
Hmm.
the beginning of your career. And in keeping with the theme of lessons and success, If you could kind of think back to your journey and those milestone moments that created moments of realization, perhaps it was change, perhaps there was an epiphany that happened for you, perhaps it was an opening of a window of possibility that sparked something in you that became what is now possible for you and your team to do. Where do you pinpoint those moments? Is there something sort of at the beginning that you can think of that began the momentum that's brought you where you are?
Yeah, so I think I can pinpoint a few moments, but it probably all started even before I got into real estate. You know, I had, I, I think as a young kid growing up in Pennsylvania, work ethic was instilled in me, just
Mm,
was expected. And a lot was expected as a young kid. So that work ethic carried me into them becoming a teacher. And, if anybody's ever been in the teaching world, and think summer vacations and all these breaks are amazing, if you're a teacher struggling financially and helping kids and then coaching a bunch of soccer teams like I did and doing summer camps in the summer to make extra money, odd jobs here and there in a very expensive area back in the 90s, you learned a work ethic. And then when I got a chance to start real estate, I joined a fledgling team. There was the team leader who was a successful real estate agent, and I was her son's soccer coach. And she's like, if Jay can handle Northern Virginia soccer parents, you can certainly handle the rigors and the controversy and the ups and downs of real estate.
that's
And after she asked me for a few times, I joined in. But I didn't quit teaching in 98. I just did it starting in the summer break. And
mm,
so that was like one of the pivotal moments was when I joined and started doing it. I think joining a team really helped.
mm,
Somebody who was there as I think a mentor is probably too weak of a word. I was just attached at the hip and just working, working, working.
mm,
And that translated into eventually being able to leave teaching within 5 months
mm,
as the income came. And I think the income allowed me to have that freedom to be able to then go in full time
mhm,
and excel at it. And it was nonstop. So we in the real estate business know when somebody says, "Oh, I want to get into real estate because of the flexibility of the schedule." We all
mhm.
go, "No,
Right,
there's no flexibility
right,
until you are established." And once
right.
I realized that, and I worked for many years to fill that need to grow in the business, then the flexibility came and intentional time came to do the things that now I love to do beyond just the real estate part of it. And
Mm,
that's the impact of it.
mm. Lots to unpack there, and I'm curious about a couple of things. So, and there are so many people probably listening to this that are in exactly your shoes when you started, where they're in a career, they're what we call the classic dual career agent, which is what you were. So you're doing another profession, and then you're spending part of your time, and often it is as much time as you're spending or more on the other career, trying to get yourself into momentum in real estate. Did you know that 63% of sellers and buyers choose their agent based on local proximity? That's why farming or geo farming is such a proven method for long term success in real estate. If you've been considering becoming a farmer or a geo farmer in your market, but not sure how to get started, check out Farming for Real Estate Agents. This blueprint will walk you through exactly how to choose a geofarm area, how to figure out by running some calculations whether the farm area that you're selecting can support your goals, and will help you track your return on investment. You'll also hear from locally famous farmers who have already dominated their market shares, so you can R&D their secrets and dominate the area that you choose to geofarm. You talked about work ethic. One of the
Hmm.
questions I get from people that listen all the time is, how do I know if I have the work ethic that I need to be successful in real estate? How would you answer that question?
I think there's just some intentionality with what you do in your downtime.
Mm.
You know, if you are a go, go, go,
Hmm.
even when you have the time off,
Hmm. Hmm.
I like vacations where we're doing stuff.
Yeah,
You know, I
yeah.
don't want to sit around. Yeah, I'll take the moments to sit by a beach or a pool, but I want to go explore, go take a food tour.
Mhm.
I want to go take a tour, hike something. If
Mhm.
you're that kind of a person, the real estate business is, or entrepreneurship is probably for you. You want to be just going.
Yeah.
If you like that whole chill, veg, book, stream something, probably not going to be for you.
Agree. And I think if you find that you try to do that and it lasts for all of about 10 minutes and then you're bored out of your skull, it's probably a good sign that you might be good at real estate or
Yes.
entrepreneurship at least.
Yep.
But yeah, it's interesting you say that because I think one of the things I said to someone recently is I just discovered one of the reasons for my success. I work while other people are resting. And for better or for worse, that's just how I'm wired. So I
Hmm.
think if that's you, and whether you're working or just being active while other people like to rest, and it's funny, the reason when I actually said this was I was doing a Peloton workout, and somebody was watching me do the Peloton workout, and you know how they make you rest or they want you to rest between reps. I don't
Yep.
rest. I like do squats or lunges or something else, like or I'll do reps of something else. I'm like, I'm only here for half an hour. It's like I'm not wasting 10 seconds. You
Yeah.
know, that might be a good like kind of a signal that
Yeah.
you might be good. You might have the work ethic. I
Yeah.
love it.
And I'm an athlete too. And in my 50s, I'm still playing on two soccer leagues, playing in a tennis league. Like that's my relaxation is I want to get out there, be in a team sport and
Yeah.
do that. Now, I know there are different people who succeed at this business and they're great operators and very cerebral,
Mhm.
but they have the right people around them to build. But if you're just getting started in real estate, I would say, think of your personality in terms of what you really enjoy doing. And if
Yeah.
that is very active, so I think competitive athletes translate very well into real estate. Or if you were in other sales, which
Mhm.
is on your feet, out and about, meeting and talking to different people in person, I think is translates into a good real estate agent.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then when you talked about when you realized you were ready to like let go of the life raft maybe and make the full plunge into real estate, that's another question that I get from our audience members all the time is first of all, if I am going to start real estate, do I have to have a certain like a little nest egg saved up so that I have a cushion? And if not, like when do I know to let go of the life preserver? Because that is, as a team leader, I know you see this too. We want people who are dual career to have like they've got a goal when they've made this much or they've saved this much or at this time period, they're going to come fully over into real estate. How did you know that for you and how do you approach that with your team members?
Oh, so I do advise people to have 4 to 6 months worth of reserves,
Hmm.
whether it's theirs or they got somebody who can support them in doing that, because it is hard getting started.
Yeah.
But I've also seen people struggle through it and just by sheer desperation, they make it. We've
Yes.
had people in their life situations, their
Yes.
family is in flux or, divorce situation, and they're just going and they
Hmm.
make it. So it is hard. And I think that part of the cushion and the landing of that is that the support of a really good leader that they're working with,
Yeah.
whether that is a high touch brokerage or a high touch team, I
Mhm.
think is super important. I also love and I know that there are these virtual teams that are coming about. I still like the contact of in person
Yeah.
together because if you have the personality of a real estate agent, you want to be around other people who are succeeding, and it's very hard to get that virtually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, we talk about every agent in their success is a small fire, but you put that together and it becomes a bonfire. And I think that that works together. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, if you're transitioning, find a really good team because I think the chances of succeeding on a team are much higher or a high touch broker than
Mm-hmm.
trying to do it solo.
Yeah, yeah, could not agree more. The synergy that happens when you're in person and you have that kind of support is very, very different. And even to your experience of working with someone who, you said mentor wasn't exactly the word, but was somebody who you worked alongside. And I don't know about you, but I started very much the same way. And I did not care if she called me her assistant. She could have called me her peon. I did not care. I just wanted the at-bats. Like I wanted to learn. I wanted to get
Yeah,
in it. I wanted to like be in action. So when you can find the opportunity to do that, don't worry about your title. Just get in there, do the work, because the title will fall away and you'll evolve very, very quickly in that kind of a milieu. Whereas if you're trying to struggle and go it alone, it's a whole lot harder. The image that just came to me is, the people that do like the Atlantic crossing swimming, and that if you do it by yourself, you're going to get eaten by a shark. The people
yep.
that succeed have a whole team with them. They've got somebody to keep the jellyfish away. They've got somebody to tell them if there's a shark. They've got somebody to hydrate them and a giant boat that goes alongside them. That's what you get when you work with a high touch team. Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that just that partnership with other people, not only to motivate you, but also to help you navigate some of the mistakes that can be made.
Yes.
And you know, we get some people who get fixated on what's my commission split or, what are the expenses. Just
Mm.
find an amazing team that you are going to learn or an amazing brokerage that you are going to get that coaching and support to be able to do. The other
Yeah.
stuff will work itself out.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So before we transition to where you have come to now and go a little bit farther forward in your career, is there a lesson, either inspirational or that was really hard, that you remember learning as a newer agent that was a change maker in your career?
Hmm. I joke with a younger agent about it. Not, I mean, somewhat related is that you learn how to eat on the run a lot because you're
Very
just
true.
going.
Yes.
Had a bag of nuts in the Costco size bag of nuts in the trunk just because you just had to have a steel stomach because you're just going busy showing houses and
So
working
true.
with people. Um, I'd say there was a lesson that I don't know if it was a lesson learned, but this client of mine taught me a lesson which was amazing is that, in our world, I think that we prejudge people very quickly.
Mm.
We country is very polarized and we judge people. And I remember this was like my first full year in real estate. I met this um, man at an open house, um, darker skin, and I, just talked to him like anybody else and showed him through the house, asked him a lot of questions of, hey, what are you looking for? Does this house have what you're looking for? And he was just open and finally ended up he, chose me as his agent and I would take him out and show him houses. Couldn't quite get what he wanted in the price range that he wanted right here. So I took him a little bit further south, like 8 miles south in a different county, and found him a great single family home. At that time in 1999, there was $170,000. He was a cab driver,
Mm.
Ethiopian descent. And he
Mm.
said, Jay, you were the only agent out of like 6 open houses I went to who would actually approach me and talk to me.
Mm.
And the lesson learned from there, which I share with my agents a lot, is that do not judge the people as they come in.
Yep.
And I've caught myself doing it. And having that experience with him was just amazing. He ended up supporting my business over the next 18 months,
Mm.
17 referrals of family, friends,
Mm.
other cab drivers. It
Amazing.
it
Yeah.
made the start of my career and trajectory of my career so different. And
Yeah.
then I ran across another person who was a human resources person for World Bank.
Mm.
She was renting, wanted to own a home, and I worked with her for, I don't know, 8 to 10 months. She ended up not buying with me, but she said she stayed, I think, as a rental, or she ended up buying the place that she was renting.
Mm.
But she was my referral partner for every person who she was in contact with at World Bank because of the
Wow.
commitment that I had. And she's like,
Yeah.
Jay, you were relentless. I owe you everything. So I got these, and the World Bank clients, their price point at that time was much higher than
Yeah.
all of the other people.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from her because the clientele that were coming over, very analytical, thoughtful. So I had to match that because I'm a creative. You know, I was an
Hmm.
English teacher and
Yep.
creative writing teacher, so I had to match that, and that learned a lot. So that was like lessons learned from those situations and those two clients that I had come in contact with.
Great lessons and great outcomes. Yeah, that's, I mean, it's so true. You never can judge and never underestimate the power of a relationship that you build with somebody early on in your career. Could be a rental, could be a low price point, could be something far away. At the beginning, say yes because
Yeah.
you never know where that's going to go.
Hmm.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, so let's fast forward to you then starting to become a leader. So you've got you've kind of got your teeth cut in real estate, you got some good chops, you got your experience. What made you decide that it was time to step into a leadership role?
Well, I didn't have the official title as we talked about before, but I was a leader on the team because before I was a leader just because of I was very productive.
Mm,
And our training system was, hey, come along with me.
mm,
Let's do this. Come with me for several days. Let's go look. And then I ended up training the first group of buyers agents on the team because they
mhm,
would just do with me. They would show houses with me. They would do open houses with me. We would go help clean up houses and listings that my former team owner was getting
mhm.
ready because they just needed help. And we
Yeah.
just did it and got our hands dirty. And then eventually that translated into formalizing it where I never wanted to be a manager and never had the title of a manager. I
Mhm,
just did it because I was teaching other people and
mhm,
I got energy and joy out of just teaching others. That eventually translated into an opportunity to purchase the company. And then that translated into now formalizing as a team leader. And then one of the things from sports that I think really helped is I coached a lot. And when you coach team sports, it's sometimes very hard for an athlete or a parent of an athlete to understand that sometimes the best player or the better players don't make that team in the position that they want because
mhm,
you need superstars and
mhm,
you need role models and you need role players and you got to put all of that together. So having coached and found this, I felt like I was given the gift or learned sometimes you have to have these role players, but then you're
mhm.
also putting them in the right seats. And that translates into business on a real estate team is I have leaders on my team who started as transaction coordinators.
Yeah.
Now they're managing a bunch of people. They're on my executive committee. I
Mhm,
have people that I plucked from different careers and said, you would be amazing on my team and got them over to our team. And two of my top producers were people from outside different careers that joined us and now are on leadership council and executive committee. So that is, I think, one of the gifts that I have is that I've been able to identify people and putting them in the right seats
mhm.
to
Yeah.
help others around them. And then hopefully created a situation where through their leadership, others that are starting and saying, hey, Jay was there as a starting agent, or this leader was there, and now they've worked themselves up. So I try to look for those opportunities to raise those that are from there. And I watched also my previous owner tried to get people from outside and bring them in, and it was hard for those people to succeed. It was
Mm,
much better when they were already in the system and understood the team and the culture to be able to lead other people.
yeah, yeah. So it definitely is a gift. Do you think it's something that somebody could learn to do for those who, if we have a team leader who's listening that's struggling right now and wishes they had that kind of insight or foresight into the potential of another person? Is it a learnable skill?
I think if you're coachable, anything is possible, and you put a bit of the ego aside. And many team leaders started as successful, great agents,
Mm.
and sometimes that doesn't translate into being a great team leader. Because
Right.
we all know people who are amazing agents, try to create a team, and then a couple of years later, they go from 20 agents and they're like, I have 4 agents, and
Yeah.
they're dismantling and redoing it. So
Yeah.
I think that with the right coaching and being coachable,
Hmm.
that's where you can do it. And then also identify maybe people like I did that you can bring in, whether it's from the organization or outside, that can help you on the things that maybe you are not, that's not your strength and that's not your love.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great point. And that's I mean, the most successful business owners in the world are very good at figuring out where they need. They always say, I have smarter people than me in those roles that they need balance in. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And for the person who is listening or watching and may have just heard you say, I thought I was supposed to build a team and I'm not sure like it's the right fit for me and maybe I need to dismantle it. Do you have any tips for them in how they might evaluate or how they might know if they're right for that role?
Well, I think it's really taking an assessment and figuring out what do you love about this business.
Mm,
And if your love is, hey, I just love working with clients and doing that and do that really well and build a support team
mhm.
that maybe necessarily aren't other agents,
Yep. Yep.
but build a support team and be a successful agent and sell a ton of houses, stay really profitable, and do that first.
Yeah.
If you don't love, the direct client contact, then find great salespeople and be a visionary, be an operator who helps those agents succeed and build a support team around those great agents who are great salespeople.
Yeah, yeah, wonderful advice. And you point out something really important, I think, which is that a team doesn't just have one structure. There can be many, many iterations of a team. A team can be 2 people, a team can be a SEAL team, team can be you with a bunch of support people, like you said, a team can be a team as you have built the team. Lots and lots of ways to be successful at real estate. So don't feel like you have to fit into a box. There are many, many examples of the ways that people have succeeded. And if it doesn't feel right, shift it. Like that's one of the great things about being a business owner. You have pure agency. You get to change.
Yeah. And sometimes the seasonality of it is that after a few years, you can reinvent yourself. You can say, hey, I have loved doing this. I want this challenge. And then you find somebody else who can replace that while you work on this.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a great segue into what I wanted to ask you about next, which is where we are in real estate right now. So we are recording this at the very beginning of 2026. We're at the end of January, and we are in a what feels like a ramp up right now, a recovery of the market. We've been in a little bit of a slump nationally and internationally for a couple of years. And it feels like a new energy coming in. So again, for the person who is maybe they're new in the real estate industry, maybe they're hitting their head against that ceiling and they're just not really sure how to break through. How are you counseling your team members and the people that you advise to position themselves to succeed in this next great era of real estate?
Yeah. So we're telling the agents your Super Bowl is here already. Take
Mhm.
advantage of it. Work with as many clients as you can. Just go, go, go because the opportunities are here. Connect with as many people as you can. As you see fewer agents transacting, but clients coming out, take advantage of the growth that's there and grow your business that way.
Yeah.
And make sure that you treat those clients at a high level so that they're going to refer you business down the road.
Yeah.
Especially for a newer agent, one great client can lead to three other referrals every year if you take amazing care of them. And so it's not just churn and burn. It is just doing an amazing job with it. And then also be a good steward to the business, treat other agents well. I think that sometimes we get into this thing where we get very impatient with other agents, and what comes around goes around. So those agents that you treat well, you're going to have long-term business with them. So
Mhm.
they're going to bring you, hey, I had a great experience with that agent or that team, and you're going to get the benefit of it in some way. So make sure that you do that part of it for other agents and clients that you're working with.
100%. Yeah, don't burn bridges, develop relationships. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard agents say, well, I'll probably never work with them again. You don't know. People cross paths again in your lives in very interesting ways sometimes. So make sure that you're bringing your best self in every possible interaction that you have. So I have
Mhm.
one more question to you for you. I know we're getting close to time here, but you mentioned earlier on that you become intentional with the way that you use your time. And this is one of the, again, a hot topic that we hear from the people that watch and listen to this podcast is they get to a certain level of success and they got into this because they were going to get to make their own schedule, like you said, and they quickly realized their schedule becomes completely out of their control. Many times because they get so busy that they're just kind of like, flowing with the breeze of everybody else's needs. And it feels like client service. And it can be very much at the detriment of us as human beings. And I see you posting all the time about, things you're doing with your family, with your wife, these incredible life experiences that you're having, things you're doing with your team, and what you just talked about, your ability to still be involved in sports and humanitarian efforts. How have you learned to be intentional? What lesson would you impart to our audience for protecting that in their lives?
Yeah, I think 28 years of doing this and sometimes not doing it very well and protecting my own time and headspace and all and sometimes sacrifice in it is, things that I've learned is that if you surround yourself with good people, you can leverage the time. And so, I still enjoy working with clients. I have an amazing production partner, and I use that as, that production partner works with me, and I make sure that I'm going in there for that surgery part of it, that critical stuff of, price setting, negotiations on contracts. If it's a sticky home inspection, I get in there, but the project management part of it, you have this person that's dedicated to helping clients, which frees me up to be able to do the other things that I enjoy doing, whether it's connecting with other team leaders, mentoring with them, sharing time, masterminding in Aspen that I'll be doing in a couple of weeks. I've never been there. So, like, doing those kind of things I think are critical. And then for my wife, who's finishing her PhD, our celebration at the end of this year is to go do an African safari.
Yep.
So like that was also introduced me travel agent from another team leader that I connected with, and she did an amazing African safari, and I saw it. I'm like, hey, who did you use? So that's like a goal for a vision on our big calendar that we put on, is that when she finishes her PhD, that we're going to celebrate that together. So we have goals that we have to work towards together.
Yeah.
So leveraging, I think, with the right people that you get to do that when you have that level of success and you've built the team
Yeah.
that can operate. And this is morbid, but if I get hit by a truck tomorrow, the team will still run. If I step away because I put in things into place that I have leaders that can do that. So I think that's where it would be advice for anybody that's doing it is to leverage the talent and to build something that you don't have to be in it every day in order for it to successfully go on.
Yeah, yeah, beautifully said. I mean, what you've really built is a legacy. And that I think is what most of us get into business with the ultimate intention of building. And I don't know how many people actually get to that point in their career, but kudos to you because you've done it beautifully. And we just get to be recipients of all the things that you impart and the example that you are. So, so grateful for you. All right, so as you can see and hear, if you are watching or listening, Jay is an amazing person. The team he runs is exceptional. And let's tell everybody what the areas that you cover. So if they have referrals to send your way, where will you serve clients?
So Northern Virginia is 90% of, what we handle. A lot in Fairfax County, Loudoun, and Prince William County. We do cross over the river to Maryland once in a while. I have several agents who are licensed in Maryland and a couple of agents licensed in DC, but mainly it's Northern Virginia is our area. And you can connect with us. And I'm on social media, mostly Facebook. The Instagram thing, I haven't dedicated time to really develop that. And I throw something up there, and that's at J Delisandro Realtor, I believe. But J Delisandro on Facebook, you can connect with me there. I still do email, so we'll share the email if you want to connect with me that way.
Yeah, you'll tell everybody your email address because if they want to write it down right now,
Yeah.
they'll have it.
So it's JAY at team DDA.com. So team DDA.com, Delta Delta Alpha.com.
Awesome, awesome. Jay, thank you so much. This has been amazing. I know everybody learned a ton from you and will continue to do so. If you have questions for Jay, reach out. If you have referrals for Jay, reach out. And is it fair to say if they're interested in learning more about potentially being on your team and they're in this kind of same
Yeah.
market area, okay, reach out and you will not be disappointed.
Yeah. And we're starting a real estate school in a couple of months. So if you're
In
looking to
your
get
brand new building,
licensed,
he has a really cool new building. Are you in now?
yeah, we're in the new
Nice.
building, and I have a leader that it wanted to start the real estate school, and she is loving it. So we're getting ready to launch it in the spring of 2026.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, just another layer to all you offer. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Jay. I so appreciate you being here. Thank you to our audience for listening and watching. Please feel free to reach out to either of us if you have questions, and please remember to leave a review or a rating on the platform on which you are listening or watching. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that little subscribe button. We would love to have you as part of our regular audience. If you have ideas for topics for us, throw them our way. We're happy to listen to you and to share any more knowledge that you would like to know as well. Jay, thank you so much. We will see you on the next episode. This has been So You Want to Be a Real Estate Agent. We'll see you next time.